Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Scotty's Hobbies. Today we're talking about a scratch build that I did on an IR60. I just built everything from scratch. I started with the body, then I ordered the frame. We're going to go out and do a little bit of run on my little portable course, but I'm not going to show you the build. I didn't even video the build. Y'all have seen enough build videos, but we're going to talk about how I built it and how I came up with the way that I built it. So what I did first was I ordered the body, which was this IR60 in what they call green, and it is green. It's a teal green, but it looks a lot blue. So when I ordered the body, I'd also ordered these rims, and they are, I don't know if you can tell, they're very green, and they don't match. So I ended up later on ordering these wheels, which I love. So what I did is I ordered the body and I ordered the frame. The frame I ordered was the Mofo RC Ugly AF frame or chassis, however you want to call it. The filter fits real nice in there. Now here's the deal. I bought the body, I bought the frame. Then I closed everything up, and then I got a kind of idea how I could fit everything in here. And so what I did was let's go from the front to the back, and we'll talk about what we have on this truck. The very first thing we have is this ramp crab servo. If you can see it, let me see if I can move the camera where we can see this a little bit better. So what we have is at the very front, we got this ramp crab servo. What I like about this servo is that it's got its own power that hooks to the balance port, basically, of your 2S battery. Only 2S. It gives it more power, and this thing has got a ton of power. It can flip the whole truck side to side. This was a purchase that I just ordered from Amazon. Then we go from there back. We got this Injora invisible magnetic mount. So when you get this ugly AF chassis, it doesn't go all the way to the front. So you can't use any kind of bumper clip or anything like that. So we just mounted, when I say we, I mean I just mounted this in there. And then we stacked magnets here to gap for my flex blades. If you can see these flex blades I put on here on the frame, if you see they go above the frame, which gives me the truck down low. Now, these were just purchased off Amazon. They're called RC lines, I think, like the line animal. RC lines is what those were. They were just cheap Amazon. So I ordered the cheap ones because I knew I wasn't going to be able to use the frame mounts, and I was going to have to figure out some way to mount this. Luckily, on this chassis, you can just mount them right there, and they work just fine. Then we got these Injora big bore aluminum shocks. They were 40 millimeter. We got the Injora Fat Viper motor. I've got the Injora transmission in here. The Fat Viper motor comes with the ESC and a power switch. Now I mounted the ESC up underneath here. You can't really see it, but it's underneath this frame rail on a flat piece of plastic battery mount type thing. And then I run a Spectrum receiver, so I run a Spectrum transmitter, so I put a Spectrum 515 in here. Now a lot of people get confused when you're dealing with brushless motors, because some brushless motors come with an all-in-one ESC. Now if you want to use your own controller, you don't want that. You want to make sure you get one that has the plug that'll go into a receiver, and then you can use whatever transmitter that you want. So you can do Fly Sky, Spectrum, just whatever you prefer. I prefer the Spectrum, and I can use one controller for many trucks. I wish they would offer more of these trucks without the controller, but to be honest with you, after building this one from scratch, I'll probably never buy another built truck. So we got the Injora Fat Viper, Spectrum, and then this is a power button, and then our ESC is up inside there. And then further back, we got another set of these flex blades right here. Luckily, again, they just mounted to the frame right there. And then I put a rubber band on here to help keep them pulled to the front. Because if you didn't do that, if you got it fully vertical, if you got it vertical like this and unloaded the suspension, they would kind of lock in place. So that's why I did that there. Let's flip this thing over. Also, I put a bed cover on this truck. I didn't like being able just to see everything inside there, and this is where my battery goes. I just use a little flat battery like this one right here. It goes underneath this bed cover and technically just sits. I didn't put a piece of plastic in there. I just put 4 screws in there, and the battery just sits right on top of that. I had to cut out the cab a little bit underneath here so the wires could run through, but no big deal. Let's flip this thing over. So we're looking at the bottom. We got the Mios Racing axles front and rear, the 52 degree on the front, the Injora stainless steel drive shafts, and these are Gladiator length drive shafts, and these are Mofo RC brass Gladiator links front and rear, and this is an Injora brass skid plate. I also got on the back these. You can see those right on the axle. See how the shock's popping up? So these are Mofo RC flex blades that go on the axle. Now I've only put them on the back. I haven't put them on the front. This thing already flexes good enough. I may or may not put those on the front, but as it is right now, probably not. I kind of like the way the thing is performing as it is. And this is what the back looks like, you know, where I put the bed cover. There's a little hole right here. I thought about covering it up, but there's no way to seam that and make it look nice, so I kind of just left it open. I don't have the supports on the roll bar up here. Mine did not come with them. It was a mistake in shipping. They have sent me some. I just received them yesterday. I think I'm just going to leave it like this. I don't think I'm going to bust it back apart. Now these rims, I got several different rims here. Here's another set. So when we're talking about rims, these rims, I like them. It's probably the only rim I'm going to buy from now on. These rims were OGRV rims. They're all brass. They are black. I don't know if they come in any other colors. But here's what I like about them. We're going to talk about the offset a little bit. So you can see this one's deep inside. This one's not. So this one would be considered a negative offset. So if we're looking at the center line of this tire, and basically that would be the center line of the rim, these are a 7mm negative, which means it pushes the tire out. Okay. That gives us, so this tire would sit closer into here than out here because this one's in the positive. So it's not centered up. So I like these wheels just fine, but I really like these. I've never run these before. And when I was looking for some rims, when I decided I wasn't going to run these because they didn't match, as you can see, they're really, really green. I thought about putting a green stripe on the truck, but these tires are a little bit smaller. So I just decided to give these rims a shot. I really like them. So, and I recommend them. This is probably the only rim I'll probably run or something like it from now on. So the ramp crab, so the first, this is the first servo I put on here. This Mios Racing one. It's an ME X8 8.5 kg. It was okay. It worked pretty good, but I accidentally burnt it up. So I decided to do the ramp crab because this rig is capable of 3S. And so in theory, I should be able to run 3S on this because I pull, the servo pulls from the sensing wire goes from the receiver, but the power wires go to a battery. So if I really want to, I could put a 3S battery back here, which it will fit. And then I've got some Velcro up here where I can stick a small 2S battery up there for the steering. Anyway, that's about it for the truck. This is what I will tell you guys, man. A lot of people want to know, you know, should they build or should they just buy? And I'm going to tell you, I struggle with the decision myself. I've got one right here, brand new. And I have run it some. This is the new Evo Pro. And I like that truck. I do not like it as much as this truck. So I got a video that I'm going to put out a little bit later on. I built this truck to see how a built 24 scale will compete against that stock 18. That's not going to be this video though. We're going to wrap this one up with a little bit of running outside, maybe a little commentary. I got a little portable course in my yard. It's just built on a trailer. I recommend that if you guys ever run across a little cheap trailer, even if you got to put a floor in it or whatever, put you some rocks in it. It just makes a nice little course that you can take anywhere and put real rocks in it. You can adjust it any way you want to, and then you can even change the difficulty by jacking the front up or jacking it down. You can even put 2 tires on some bricks. I mean, you can change the whole course by any of those things, plus moving the rocks around. So I built this rig, and I like to build. I like to build stuff. I raced the racing drones for a little bit just locally, and I built about 12 of those. And I like to build. It's addictive. So, in my opinion, I'm going to tell you about what this truck costs to build. And keep in mind, I've got my own controller. So this truck cost me around $450 to build, $450. Now, I really consider this probably about the best that you can build it. I mean, it don't have the most expensive parts on it, but you're not going to get much more performance out of it by putting a bunch more parts on it. I feel like it's maybe the tires could be different. I'm not real sure how I feel about the tires. These are the Injora mud claws, and I like them because they got big teeth and they grip good. But other than that, I don't know. I got to get them scrubbed in some more. I ordered some different foams for them. I also vented them. And so I'm going to give them a shot, but I'm probably going to end up maybe going to a little bit different tire. But here's my theory on buying and building versus building from scratch. When you buy and build, you're $120 into the build before you do anything. And if you're one of these guys that's going to change everything on it, you might as well just build from scratch. The only drawback is if you don't have a transmitter, then you're going to have to buy you a transmitter. But that's a one-time purchase that'll run mini trucks, and it'll run whichever truck. And the other thing I like about having my own transmitter, I've got some 4-wheel steer trucks, and I can control those better with my Spectrum or any type of transmitter, because I can control the back axle all by itself if I want to, plus the other features, so you can control the front axle by itself, you can control the back axle by itself, and you can control them simultaneously if you want to. So I do like that option. So my opinion is if you've never owned one and you don't know anything about them and you want to build one, but you need something put together so you can understand how it goes, then I would buy something like that base camp. The new base camp's $99. You're going to probably change everything on that truck anyway. And I feel like it's probably one of the best trucks to build, is because you get it for less of a price. And you're going to probably change everything anyway. If you're going to do the 124 scale. If you're going to do the 18th scale, I like the Evo Pro. I like that truck. That truck gets around on my course really well, and it's got one upgrade on it. The front drive shaft I broke on the second run because it's got a big motor in it. And that is the only upgrade it's got on it. And I'm going to leave it like that until I put these two on the course together. And then, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I like that enough to even upgrade it. I may sell that truck. I like this truck so much more than that one that I'll probably just build another truck. I may sell that one. I may keep it for a guest or something on the track or something. And if I do that, I'll upgrade a little bit. But anyway, so build or buy, I would build. This is the first one I build. The brushless motor, that's a confusing side of this hobby if you haven't never dealt with them. I've dealt with brushless motors on my drones a lot. But the problem is those come with a control board, and you have an ESC separately, and you go into your computer and you can set up that ESC. So this is basically the same, but you can't just go get any setup. This one comes with everything that you need, but I could never program the motor because my programming toggle is not working. I hook it up to the computer and the computer doesn't recognize it. Other people have had that problem, and other people have it has went just fine. So it's probably just a bad toggle. But the Injora motor is very affordable, and it works just fine without it being programmed. I'm going to get it programmed because I'm probably going to order a whole other kit for another build, and then I'll have a toggle to to program this one. So this is the Fat Viper, and they've got one just called the Viper. So when you order the Fat Viper, the ESC for the Fat Viper is programmed for the Viper. There's not a huge difference in those. This is a lot larger diameter outrunner motor. Also, when you go with a brushless, you got to put this bell housing and everything on this transmission, which the motor comes with it. Now, when I originally started this project, I was going to face the motor backwards. Can't do that on this truck body because it hits into the cab. So normally your battery would go up here at the front. I had to take all that out because there was just no room for it. Put that in there, and then I just put the battery to the back. And the balance and everything is fine. Most of my weight is up front. This truck is nearly 700 grams. I can't remember, like 670 something, whatever. Even with the 3S battery, I think it even was over 700 grams. But she's a big girl. I've got light. This truck comes with lights, comes with wipers, comes with mirrors. I've already ripped the mirrors out of it. I haven't driven it that much, but I have driven enough to know that I would rather build than to buy. Anyway, I'm going to end the video. As far as me talking in here, the rest of the video is going to be out on the course. And I'll do just kind of quick run, kind of let you see what it looks like flexing around. So this thing's got a lot of flex. With the flex blades on the front and the rear, we can do 3 tires on the back, right, like that, and then we can do another 3 tires on the front left, and it can still be somewhat planted. I think it was this way. Two skinny tires, 1 big tire, 2 skinny tires, 1 big tire. I think that's how I did it. But that's still a lot. Still a lot, but it's still planted with that. When you get it out on the course, if you can see that, I mean, she's got a lot of flex. Anyway, I'm going to pause the video and then we'll finish this up outside. Okay, guys, we're outside on my little course. Like I said, this course can be changed up any way that you want it to be. We'll try to give you a little bit of footage of this thing driving around. Maybe we can get some close-ups of it. But the slow crawl is incredible on this truck. I mean, I'm still not going as slow as it can go. The engine's very quiet. You don't hear it a whole lot. The sun's pretty bright out here. I can't really tell if you can still see the truck. Try to give y'all some close enough shots where you can kind of see how everything works and travels and settles in. And got a lot of sun right now. Got a wire hanging out there. Yeah, she gets around real good. There we go. Hopefully y'all can see this okay. This course I have out here doesn't really have any easy lines. They're pretty much all pretty hard. But I like it like that. I like to creep around slow and make it hard on myself, make it challenging. I changed this course up, so I'm not 100% sure I can make this transition here or not, but I'm going to try to transition to these wood pieces I've got out here. So it's a pretty good climb. Haven't done that one yet. I'm going to see if I can drive one-handed just for a bit and give you some view of just the axle in the back. You can kind of see those flex blades flexing when the axle drops down. It's incredible how quiet this thing is and how stable it is and how well it moves around. Try to switch hands here. When I try to drive with one hand, I don't do very good. I got a lot of damage to my hands. I'm missing fingers and stuff, so to try to drive with that hand makes it very difficult for me. I keep hitting the reverse by accident, so that's what that's all about. And then I have to steer with my stomach. But these Mias racing axles, they got a 52-degree turn on them, so they turn really sharp. Trying to drive with one hand, it's just not easy for me. But we're going to try to get it done. I love the way this thing flexes and drives so slow. I mean, just really, really, it looks pretty incredible when it's out here moving around on the rocks. I mean, I get stuck sometimes, but it's, for the most part, she gets around pretty good. Like I said, steering with one hand is not easy for me, so forgive me. Let me pause real quick. Okay, here we go. Back in the saddle. With this new course, I'm not even 100% for sure where I can go. I'm just going right now. The truck really looks good. I've actually got a hole in the cab because my receiver has an antenna and I can actually poke it up through there, and it kind of makes it look like a CB antenna when you do that. And that's usually how I run it, but see if we can get. Might not make that. Yeah, I thought I can make on top of that rock, and I might could if I was driving with both hands, but come on, big girl. I'm gonna reset. See if we can get another angle here, maybe. Man, these wheels really turn sharp. This course is very, very, very unforgiving. You make a mistake, a lot of times you can't get out of it because of the way that the rocks are. They'll just get you hung up and you'll fall down inside there. You might not ever get back out of there. So we'll try to go to this other side a little bit. A lot of times the hardest path is the easiest path. That's one thing I learned. Something that looks harder, sometimes easier. Get on top of that rock. There you go. Come on, baby. Oh. I can watch this stupid thing all day. Come on. This would have been easier if I was driving with both hands, I promise you. See if I can salvage this. Yep, there we go. I think we got it. I mean, this thing just flexes. Just looks, to me, it looks amazing. I like the silver axles. You can get them in black as well, but you know, as they scratch, they're going to be silver probably underneath. So I just went ahead and got the silver ones, and then I got the silver Injora stainless steel drive shafts to match that up. So Yep. All in all, I'm super happy with the build. I'm gonna do is, I'll make some changes to it here and there. But this, this servo, it's a 49, I think, dollar servo, but it seems to be plenty strong enough. Matter of fact, the first time I hooked it up, it broke the link on the axle because those had the plastic ones. When you order those axles, and I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that. So far, after I changed the link, everything is doing good. But those Mios racing axles, they come with the links to hook everything up, and the end joints are all plastic. So, and they're different size, so you can't just swap it out. They got different bolt size in it, different screw size. So you can't just swap it out with anything. So, but I changed the collar on the end, and so far it's been doing good. So I done fell down in that hole and never getting out of there, not without breaking something. I really like this truck, and I really like this course. I'm very happy with this. Is just a trailer I bought on Facebook. Somebody had it. I jewed them down. I think I got it for $400. And I think they wanted $650 for it. And it's just one of those deals that fell in my lap. And it had some other stuff on it, like he had it set up for canoes and stuff. So I took all that off and then decided to make it into a little portable rock crawling trailer. Checked around with some of the neighbors. I had a few rocks myself. Some of the neighbors had some rocks, and here we go. And you can make it, you could put another level on it if you wanted to. I didn't use the fenders, you could use the fenders and the tongue. You could go as big as you wanted to go. Even if you found an old boat trailer, it doesn't really matter what trailer you find. This is also a new section that I did, and I haven't played on this since I did this section. So I'm pretty sure you can make it up there, but maybe not one-handed. I like to do everything in slow speed. I don't like having to really goose on it to get up on a ledge, even though sometimes that's what we got to do. That's just my thing. I think it looks more realistic if you can make it up without bouncing it up. But this don't look that possible, at least right now. So we're going to end the video here. We'll finish up inside with just some final thoughts, and we'll talk about this, and then we'll be done. Okay, everybody, let's do the final thoughts on this rig. I do really like this rig. I like that it's a hard body. I like the looks of it. I like the green color, which really looks a little more blue. I like the bed cover, doing that bed cover just really made it look nice. You'll watch some unboxings and stuff on these, and when they get them together, when you look at the back, it's just open, like you can see the frame and everything inside there. And just, to me, I wish they would have sent a bed cover of some type with it, so at least it was an option. This one has a power button, which I'm not for or against, to be honest with you. And let's talk about now the way that I drove out there with one hand doesn't really show how well this truck can drive, because it can drive way better than what I can do with one hand. Secondly, I don't have a professional channel, so my video quality is not that great. So hopefully I got some decent video footage for y'all so you can be inspired to build your own rig. I love this ugly AF chassis. I just do. But keep in mind, if you use that chassis now, and it's set up like a SCX, so like this one is a hinge type. It bolts up right in the back, no problem. There's some spreader bars down through there. It's got the battery mount. It's got the mounts for everything that you need. Comes with it. It does not come with the magnetic mount that you need for the front for this truck. So, but that was not a big deal. They got them. I think it was like $10 or something on Amazon. I like the flex blades. Now, when you order big bore oil shocks, they don't come with the shock oil in them. I use 25 weight on this one. Seems to do really good. I mean, people may want to use more or less. I mean, really, I guess it probably depends on how heavy your rig is, but as long as everything is flexing pretty good, you're probably okay. I run them typically for a little bit without oil just to kind of see how I like it. Now, as I told you before, ordered the body and the frame, and then I ordered the axles and the links. I did all that before I ordered the shocks. The reason why I did that is I wanted to be able to flex this out with nothing connected to it to see what it was capable of, and then look at some measurements and see what kind of shock I could use, how I can mount it, get a better idea of, you don't want to have a shock that's over capable if your machine is limited to a certain amount of flex. That was just my thought. So it does take longer to build one that way when you order everything instead of all at once. But if you already know everything that you want, then it's not a big deal. And I'm gonna try to put a list of everything, even if I just gotta type it in, so that you can build this if you want to, with the exception of whatever receiver that you want to receive to put in your unit. The other thing I like about, so let's talk about the brushless motor. There's a lot to like about brushless motors. One thing not to like is the expense. However, the Fat Viper motor is only like $60, and that's with the ESC. That's everything that you need. So that's not a bad price. But keep in mind, it's 3 times bigger than the factory motor, and it doesn't mount on the side; it mounts on the top. So when you're doing a build, you have to have those things in mind, and you have to be prepared to do whatever it takes to make it fit. You could do a different body on this one, and you could face the motor backwards. You could still put the battery up front if you wanted to. It'd be just fine. This frame, I like it so much, I'll probably use it each time or more than once. It's not going to be. I'm gonna have to say it's my favorite frame. I've got some other low gravity frames, and I've got one from Maz Designs, which I like. I like it just fine. My next build is I've already got one built out, but I'm gonna stretch it, so that'll probably be my next project. But I like this one so much that it's probably the only one I would buy, and the price is not bad. It was $55, I think. I think this is considered the titanium one or something. It's kind of rainbow colored, but it's got lots of options for mounting all your holes. Nothing binds up, nothing's in the way. Everything just worked out great. The biggest challenge I had was the battery, and it's not even the battery, it's just getting the wires to go through. So there may be other better ways of doing it, and I may take this apart and kind of look at that, revisit it, and maybe find another way to run wires. But for the most part, I'm going to drive it until it breaks now, and then if it breaks, I'll make some changes to it. So I love the rig. I love that I built it. I love it's a scratch build. I made some mistakes along the way, like those tires, those rims, that first servo, burnt that one up. This servo is, and I've got this servo turned down. Y'all seen how fast it was and how powerful it was. That's one of the things I like about having this type of controller is you can turn things down. You can put your lights on an off switch. I've got my power turned down on my steering servo to 75%, and with how quick it turns, probably need to go down to 50%, or I may work with the curve on it, the power curve or something. You can also do that with your throttle and everything else. So reverse is always a problem when you're rock crawling. When you go into reverse, it's kind of an unnatural thing, and you'll burp the throttle too much. So with a controller like this, you can turn some of that stuff down. So anyway, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, how you feel. Have you ever built a scratch build? What is your favorite scratch build? Or are you thinking about building a scratch build? If you are, you got any questions, shoot them to me. I'm no professional scratch builder. This is my first one. I'm not lying to you. I've got several remote controls. I probably got 10, maybe a little more. I've got some big ones. I got some fast ones. I got an SCX6. I got an SCX10. And then I've got some faster, like tracks of stadium trucks and I think I've got one called a Revo. I've got a Revo 3.3 gas. I got a bunch of different trucks, but this is my first scratch build. And it had me scratching my head the whole time. But what I learned is if you get your body and your frame first, you can take your time and you can get it right. So that's my recommendation. Anyway, if you got any questions, hit me up in the comments. Thanks for stopping by Scotty's Hobbies. Y'all have a good day.